Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are on beautiful planet Earth. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to defeat the Leviathan using the Profundity. I made a video about this a while ago, which needs to be updated, so here we go. You'll find we have two different variants of the typical Leviathan lineup. On the left, we see Thunderballs here, who's running the lineup with the TIE Dagger. And on the right, we have Edoshaz, who's running it with the Sith Fighter. Both are very beatable. I do find the Sith Fighter to be slightly easier, but they will both die to the Profundity if you do things the right way. It's not a guaranteed win, right? But it certainly can be done very consistently. I would say about 80% or more will be your win rate once you kind of get a good sense for how to drive this team to victory. This is my more unorthodox lineup, and everything here is chosen by design. The main thing are the reinforcements. If you look at the bottom, I'm reinforcing Biggs and his X-Wing. He's Relic 7. That is a minimum requirement for this particular style of defeating the Leviathan. We need a Relic 7 or better Biggs. You'll also notice that I've got the TIE Defender in that lineup. You may not need the TIE Defender too often, but there are places where you can be doing really well, and then you get in a situation where you just can't take down the Sith Marauder because he's just gaining too many of those little stacks, and you can't take him down fast enough. And that's where the TIE Defender needs to come in and help you clean up the fight on the end. Well, after this video, and please feel free to fast forward to it, we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive here. You will find I'll talk about the specific abilities of these characters and these ships and whatnot. But let's go ahead and dive in so you can see what it looks like, and we'll go from there. So Profundity is going to be going first almost every single time. The first thing we want to do is get Outrider to move, so we're going to give no turning back to Outrider to boost him to 100% turn meter. This ability here is fantastic. It's going to get our download speed progress up to 20%. I'm going to switch targets over to the Sith Fighter. Maybe we'll get an assist if we're lucky. Hey, we did. Very nice. You'll get assists. Sometimes you won't. No big deal. Either way. It's always nicer if you do, though. Going to take down the taunt on the Sith Bomber. And maybe we'll go for a shield disruption. Missed. Okay. Here's where the Fury Interceptor makes a major mistake. We're going to switch back to the Sith Fighter and go for the concussion missiles and see if we can take him out. Very nice. All right. You'll also notice that Han's Millennium Falcon just got a daze. All right. We don't want to cleanse that just yet. Let me go ahead and just attack the bomber there and pull in some assists. Okay. Part of the reason why I didn't want to take the days off is because I'm going to reinforce Biggs. And when he comes in, actually when anyone reinforces, the Leviathan is going to mass daze everybody. So Han would have just lost his opportunity to call in assists. The second one, which is blinking at me, has for target lock, call an assist, but you'll notice all my allies are dazed. They can't assist, so I'll do a basic and save that assist call for later. All right, here we're going to go ahead and just chop down the Interceptor a little bit. Did I say the Marauder earlier? When I was talking about the TIE Defender, I meant the Interceptor. That guy with his 14 stacks. Now it's the Millennium Falcon's turn. We really don't want him dazing. We don't want him dazing because he has a 50% chance to assist. So I'm going to use Watch This to strip that off. All right. Notice all the assist calls that we're making. That is how you drive to victory here. All right, we're at 65%. This is really excellent. I'll switch over to you. Maybe get an assist call. Not this time around. Okay. We're at 85%. I'm going to call an assist. This second move here, if you look at it, what does it do? It increases download by 10%, dispels all the debuffs and things like that. But then it also calls an assist or goes twice, something like that. So I'm going to use this on Outrider against the Interceptor, which will disintegrate him. Beautiful. Switch back to the Bomber. Use that second ability to call the assist now. Use this. I can already tell I'm at 100% download if I get this ability active, just to kind of purge everybody off. Okay, that seems like a dumb ship to reinforce with. Whatever, no big deal. At this point, I'm just going to turn my attention to the Sith Bomber. I'm not worried about the other ships. And I'm just waiting for the Profundity to get its turn. The enemy is not able to kill me. Not really. We have the plans. Death Star. Let's get the Leviathan out of there. And at this point, what we'll do is we're just going to be able to burn them down. Now, I've got about a minute left in this battle. I could probably kill this guy in a minute, actually. I want a proof of concept show you that works. This would be where I could call in the Phantom if I felt like it was in a bad spot. And then call in the TIE Defender to help clean up in the last few seconds of the battle. But we're doing just fine here, and I don't feel like I need to do that. Right. It's really, really important to understand that the goal here is to drive as many assists as you can. Every choice I'm making is either about defeating the enemy's ability to kill me, all right, like taking out the Sith fighter early. If I want to take out that Sith fighter early, then what you find is that they won't have enough firepower to kill the Relic 7 Bigs. If Sith fighter survives, Relic 7 Bigs might survive the onslaught. Relic 6 Bigs or less definitely won't. All right, so at Relic 7, with full 6-dot mods on all of Biggs' mods, you'll be okay. You also saw I took out the Mark 6 Interceptor using the Outriders kind of spam attacks that get lots and lots of hits, calling the Profundity to call the Outrider to really tear through the Mark 6 Interceptor's abilities. Stack of little planes and whatnot. Sometimes the Outrider gets killed. Mark 6 jumps in early and takes him out, for example. Fine. Then I need the TIE Defender to come in on the back end and deal with the Mark 6 Interceptor. It's not a problem. Let me show you how this battle is really working, though. Let's dig in now to the moves that are happening. So the only ones that really matter here are going to be over on Admiral Akbar, the I Say We Fight piece, just to show you why this is doing what it's doing, all right? Because this is a clean, brilliant counter. I'm not trying to say I'm brilliant. It took me a long time to figure it out, but I have run this battle hundreds of times, and I have seen all the iterations where it goes left, where it goes right, and where it messes up. And this really does have a very high chance of success. Notice here it says, Rebel allies always score critical hits against enemies inflicted with shield disruption. That's the Y-Wing ion torpedo move that can add shield disruption. You might not need this too often, but when that shield disruption does tick, it may be worth your time to target, say, the bomber who has his shields down and just get a bunch of critical hits. We'll also see right down here, it says, whenever a Rebel ally scores a critical hit, there's a 20% chance to call a Rebel ally to assist. That's fantastic. And this last piece, whenever a Rebel assists, download is increased by 1%. We're really trying to get as many assists as we can. And if you remember, if you go back and watch that battle, there were a lot of assist calls coming around. The second move, for example, drives it up by 10%, the download speed. All right. Target ally assists twice. All right. Very nice. Okay. If we come over and look at Millennium Falcon, his basic calls another rebel ally to assist. So I want to be using this basic as often as I can because it always calls an assist. His second ability says he dispels all of his own debuffs, and that can help get rid of a daze, because daze is going to ruin your fun because you can't assist when you're dazed. If we look at his special, though, we see here 20% crit chance for rebels. That's very nice. You get a lot more of those crits. And notice what it says right in the second line. The Falcon has a 50% chance to assist whenever another rebel ally uses an ability during their turn. If you watched my earlier video, you saw that I was using Houndstooth. That was because my Biggs wasn't strong enough at the time. But the fact that Houndstooth is not a rebel led me to a large number of battles where I would get to a download percentage of like 99%, 96%, 98%, 95%, and I wasn't able to be fast enough to stop the Leviathan from taking over the Profundity. But when you're running Biggs, because he's a rebel, those extra assist calls are going to be what really drive your percentage over the top. With Outrider, we've got a couple of great abilities here. He's going to be focusing really on the crit piece. If we take a look at his special emergency repairs, right, we see what it says in the download section. Right. It increases by 1% whenever a rebel ally scores a critical hit, and 2% if it's that rebel's turn. Very nice. So we want to get as many critical hits on our turn as we can. We want to call as many assists as we can. And Outrider's going to be able to get a lot of critical hits. We can see here, right, he attacks 3 times. And with the concealed concussion missiles, he attacks 5 times. Every time you hit concussion missiles, you might get 5 crits. Maybe a little less. But that would be, 10% download speed. And then maybe you're lucky enough to get the 50% on Millennium Falcon, who then, uses his basic, all right, which then procs a 20% chance to call in another assist, which then procs Outrider again, who hits another 3 times. And where are all these critical hits coming in? How many of them are criticals? How many of them are assists? And it all ramps up very quickly to 100% download speed. And at that point, you're just cleaning up. The TIE Defender plays a really interesting role here, because you can get to a point where the Mark 6 Interceptor is just really being frustrating. If they have killed the Outrider especially, this is where you've basically lost unless you've got the TIE Defender in your lineup. His basic attacks 3 times, so he is replacing the Outrider. Right? And what's very important is the second ability, which will stun the Mark 6 Interceptor and stop it temporarily from taking a turn and getting more stacks. And so the TIE Defender being able to jump in, replace the Outrider in its role, and stun the Mark 6 can really help you clean up at the end of the day. My Iden is Relic 7. I actually don't think it matters that she be Relic 7 or not. I think it really just matters that you're able to get that stun and able to get these 3 hits and replace the Outrider if he goes down. Everyone, I hope that you got some good value out of this. I find that the battle plays the exact same way against the TIE Dagger. TIE Dagger's just a little bit tougher, but he doesn't get as many foresights, And the battle does go sideways sometimes if you're just not getting enough assist calls. But because there's so many percentage rolls on trying to get assists, I find that kind of on the average, it's very reliable. I would put the win percentage at about, say, 80 to 90%. All right, once you've got a good sense of how it works. All right, well, thanks for listening. I hope this is really, really helpful for you. And enjoy crushing Leviathan. I kill him every single day, pretty much, with my Profundity. Occasionally I lose. What happens then? I wait 5 minutes and then I go back in and kill him. So the Profundity can absolutely be at the top of the fleet shard charts, where you can see mine is right there at level 6. No, number 6. able to aim at number one every single day, even though there's surrounded by Leviathans. All right. This works at any star count. No problem. Very consistent. Just get your TIE Defender in there, get your bigs in there, and take the time to practice it. Every choice you make should be focused on getting rid of your days at the right timing on Millennium Falcon. Don't worry about days on most anybody else. It'll fall off in time, but the Millennium Falcon should not be dazed. And then get as many assist calls as you can. All right, crits will come naturally as they go on, but just those assist calls, assist calls, assist calls. Very, very powerful stuff. Enjoy. Guys, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for listening. Take care.